particular reason. And the reason why we're here tonight is we're going to talk about fathers and sons. We want to talk about communication. We want to talk about having an opportunity to be open with our kids, to be able to speak with our kids, but not necessarily being the best friend of our kids, because we're still parents. We're still fathers. We want to talk to them about how they dress, which means we need to be an example of how we dress. We want to talk to them about how to carry themselves, which means we have to also be an example of how we carry ourselves in front of them. Yeah. Knowing that there is a time and a place for everything. And we have to start standing up and correcting their behavior, which means we have to first start with our own. And we have to remember a child has a place, and that is a child's place. We as adults, we have our moments and our place in time, and that's when we're together as adults. But we need to start teaching them, and we need to start leading them. I also want the fathers here to remember that there was a time in life when we were young men. It doesn't mean that we excuse them for their foolishness, but it means that we should be wise enough to reach back, look at some of the mistakes that we've made, and see what we can do to head off and or stop and or cut off and or improve their situations. It doesn't mean that when they make a mistake, even if it's one that we haven't made, that we're to castigate and or excuse. But we need to be wise about how we handle those situations. And sometimes it means we have to stop, take a step back, tell your wife to get out your way, quit trying to tell you what to do, how to do it. Ask them to be quiet and give you a chance to steal away. And you might need to say a real quick prayer when you're doing that. And sometimes you may need to pick up the phone and call one of your brothers and share the situation. Not that they're going to tell you how to run your house, but in the word it says you are to seek wise counsel. So we as men, as fathers, we need to start learning how to do that. And in dealing with our kids, oftentimes they will listen to others quicker than they will us. But we need to know that the person they're listening to is God-filled, spiritually qualified to share some information with our kids. Because we don't agree with what everybody says. And our children are very delicate. And the way in which we manage them has to be considered delicate. Which means we also need to remember the times we live in. There are technological changes that we didn't have in our lives when we were their age. But that doesn't mean that because of the time and the trends that we're to bend and give in. We just need to be aware of what it is that they're dealing with. And we need to try to become conscious of how to deal with it with them. Whether it be girls sending photos to them on their phones, whether it be some of the sites that you go to by mistake, looking on your kids' web browser and seeing what it is that they're actually looking at. Looking at the kids that they associate with, because you got some folks out there now who may believe in a lifestyle that you don't believe in, but they're showing it and teaching it to their kid. And then your kid gets exposed to it and you don't have a clue. So we want to be able to try to get open tonight. Let's talk with each other. Let's see if there are some things you may be doing or I may be doing in my home. And let's try to see what we can do to come together and battle this societal change.